So when you hear VPN, you think security, privacy, and trust. But what if I told you 85% of VPN providers are lying to you about their locations? Instead of routing your traffic to the Bahamas, it's routing it to the US, and instead of Somalia, it's actually going to France or the UK. Basically, this long list of 100+ countries on their website is fake, and they've been able to get away with this because of virtual locations. What are they? And are VPNs less secure than you think? Let's find out. And before you do, don't forget to hit subscribe. Earlier this month, IPinfo, the leading provider in IP address data and intelligence, dropped a big report on 20 of the most popular VPN providers asking one simple question. If I pick a country in the app, is my traffic actually coming out of that country? And in most cases, the answer is no. Let's take a look at the ideal scenario. Let's say you're in the US and you want to visit Netflix from Norway to watch Vikings. I'm not sure if Netflix actually streams Vikings from Norway, but let's take this as an example. You get a popular VPN, click on the Norway flag, and encrypted traffic should go from your device to a Norwegian server. Then the traffic should go from that server to the Netflix servers. That's the promise, and that's what you think you're paying for. But that's not actually the case. In reality, your traffic could be going from the US to the UK instead of Norway before going to Netflix, and this is happening from a lot of big providers. I mean, 51% of Proton VPN's 110 countries are not where they claim to be. That's more than half of the countries on their list, and they've been able to get away with this for so long because of virtual locations, which we'll talk about later. Because first, we need to understand exactly how IPinfo were able to test this. IPinfo is an IP address data company. This is literally their whole business. They run a huge measurement network called ProbeNet or Probe Network with over 1,200 servers around the world whose only job is to hit IPs and collect real network data. These probes run pings, trace routes, measure round-trip times, and a whole host of other things. So for instance, if a company like NordVPN offers a location called the Bahamas, IPinfo grabs the right configurations from common protocols like OpenVPN, connects to that location automatically, and records the exit IP. They use multiple probes in different cities to ping that VPN exit and measure round-trip times. If a probe in the US sees sub-millisecond RTT and probes in the Bahamas see higher, there's a huge chance that that VPN exit is not actually in the Bahamas. They repeat this test for multiple probes per location to keep the measurements as accurate as possible. In fact, they ended up testing 150,000 different exit IPs across 137 different countries from 20 VPN providers, and only 3 had exit locations exactly where they claimed to be. So does that mean the other 17 providers are just lying? Not exactly. Let's say a VPN provider gets a block of IP addresses and maps them to a physical server somewhere in France. In some cases, those same French IPs are then declared in registries or geofeeds as being in a different country like Somalia. And most IP databases simply share that data without automatically checking if a server is actually in that location. So in the app, you see Somalia as a location, but when you connect, your traffic really exits the VPN from France with French legal jurisdiction. And because services like Netflix use IP-based geofetching, if the IP says it's in Somalia, then the user gets Somalian content even though the traffic routes through France. This virtual location is a cheap solution for VPN providers to access difficult or risky countries, but it's not great if you care about the privacy implications or about latency, considering 12% of these virtual locations are more than 8,000 kilometers away from where they say they actually are. But does this mean VPNs are less secure? Well, if encryption and tunneling protocols are implemented correctly, which you'd hope a VPN provider would actually do, then the VPN server can still be solid even if the exit point is in a different country. The real issue here is transparency. It would be much better if a VPN provider told us if a server is virtual and exactly where the exit traffic is coming from. Unless you want to tell me you don't use VPNs, because let's face it, I know you do. You work in tech, your company wants you to use a VPN, you may use one at home, you might be even using one to watch this content right now. How do I know?